excited to be back home this week. Common opponent, division game. Everyone's always excited for those. They just, they add up towards the end of the season, and they mean a lot. Also, Charlotte FC got their playoff game Friday, so there's a little buzz around here for multiple forms of football. Just excited for them as well. Just the guys, owning our processes. It's a long haul for us with a late bye. Just really excited to get back into our rhythms of a home game and getting after these guys on Sunday.
All right, we'll kick things off with Alex Zitlow.
Hey, Brad. Good morning, man.
Good morning.
Hey. Dave mentioned yesterday that one focus going forward will be getting Jaylen Coker going. Obviously, he missed the first 5 games of the season. Why is that important, and what will getting Jaylen going look like?
Yeah, Jaylen's just a phenomenal receiver. Usually when the ball goes his way, he catches it. I think there was a crazy no drop rate he had last year. I don't have that one on hand, but that he's just been consistent that way. He finds ways to win. We talk about sometimes in the receiver room, in the skill position room, no boring routes. There's some of these underneath routes at times. When you get press man to man, sometimes you feel like it's a for love of the game route. Well, we don't have those in our offense. I try to pride ourselves, on making sure those guys are running every route to win. And there was a great example of that versus Buffalo. You'll watch, we're calling a simple stick concept, and he ends up shaking free on a little outbreak, a little 5-yard outbreak versus the nickel, because he does a great job playing physical, attacking in nature, and then making a play for us. So Jaylen does a great job of that. The first couple of weeks we were trying to make sure that we were taking care of him and not overstraining him with reps, but he looks great. He did a great job on a scramble reaction last week. He's playing really physical in the run game. Love to reward guys for doing that. We talked about the tight ends the other week. That was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, of just how physical they are on sift blocks and how that can work to our advantage, and working with some of the keepers. Well, Jaylen's the same way, and he's special in the pass game, so really excited to get him going. It's just really, in order to do that, it's making him the focal point in some of the concepts, making sure you mix and match where you're putting them. I know T-Mac's gotten a lot of targets. When you have T-Mac, Jaylen, and Xavier, and Jimmy all making plays in the receiver room, and then Tommy and JT and Mitch also adding to it in the tight end room, we're just making sure that you don't have to always put one guy at the primary, and just cycling through that thing keeps the defense off guard, but also keeps our guys engaged.
David Newton.
Awesome. Oh, just very quick follow-up,
Yep.
and forgive me for the question. What is a for the love of the game route?
Ah, yes. Okay, so sometimes when you're running I'll just give an example, like a big outbreak, like a sail route from number 2 from the slot. A lot of the times there's an outside route that's just running off, right? And you're saying that's a for love of the game. You're going to give me max effort. You're going to drain the coverage out so we could throw it to somebody else. I try to make sure that anytime those appear to be in the game plan, we show them the clips where, hey, look, this is a legitimate one. Like, you could get the ball here. And that's not just coach speak. So many times, Bryce, we pride ourselves in practice too of legitimizing some of those routes where if the look's right, make sure he gets the ball. So these guys are coming off the line of scrimmage full tilt no matter where they are in the concept.
Got you. Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, hey, Brad.
Good morning.
I want to kind of follow up a little bit on the passing game. When T-Mac's in there, how have you seen that during this first half of the season? The coverages change when he's in the game.
Yeah, I think you start and everyone's trying to feel out where the targets are going, what kind of routes guys prefer. Some of the zone coverage that you see when teams start to tilt one way or another, if they start to lean to a guy who's getting a bulk of targets, sometimes the underneath coverage in those zone becomes like man. So cloud coverage, when there's a safety over top and you're playing cover 2, you might not see a zone cover 2 corner. You might match that guy in man. And then what that does for us, on the offensive side, if teams want to play combo coverages where they're matching T-Mac, or they're matching Jaylen, or they're matching one of these tight ends, well, now they have to figure out, if you're running that guy out of a zone, and we replace him with somebody else, they have to have their zone principles intact to play a combo type coverage. And it gets really, really dicey really quick when one guy's carrying like man and everyone's playing zone, everyone else is playing zone, because you're typically voiding an area. So that's something that we love to attack when teams start to lean coverage one way or another.
Did anybody do that for you guys last year to that level, and how has that kind of helped Bryce?
Yeah, I think early on, Deontay, he did a really good job for us, and they started to tilt coverage that way. And some of the young skills that we were trying to get involved, they reap the benefits. So anytime someone has a big game, I think you go and you watch the tape. How did defensive coordinators react to other teams that had big games, and what can we expect them to do to us? One example of that the other week against Buffalo is we knew they had two-man as a potential. It only showed up in a couple of clips, but they ended up running it in the game. So as long as the evidence is out there that they have this type of reaction to players that are producing, then you have to show your guys and say, hey, we have to be ready to adjust our routes accordingly. And on the topic of Jaylen, he caught a big sail route against two-man against Buffalo, and there was only a handful of two-man clips, but we warned them and said, hey, they have it. This is a potential that they might get to, and Jaylen was ready, and he broke the guy off and had a huge, gain because of it.
And one more quick one, Bryce, his stats aren't, blowing away to anybody, but you guys are winning. So what do you like specifically that Bryce is doing this year, first half of the season, that jumps out to you?
I actually spoke to the whole group this Monday. Is like, stats aside, like there's always a path to a win for us, and every week it's going to look a little bit different. So we prepare the guys with a game plan. We prepare the quarterbacks and Bryce specifically with a game plan of, hey, if this is what they want to do defensively, here's some great answers. Here's some great attacks within each play. Will Harriger does a great job of undressing. Here's your answer versus this coverage, this look, this pressure. And Bryce owns all of those variations in practice by we might get one rep of a play in a team period, but then he'll grab the receiver and say, okay, now let's rep that play against this coverage. That's where you see such a maturation of Bryce just taking the content that we're giving him, how defenses can attack us, and making sure those receivers and those skills that he has to be on time with, are getting all of those added reps on the side, because we just don't have enough, practice reps to hit every single possibility. So I really commend Bryce for, engaging the material has been a challenge that we've had with all of the guys. He engages the material and he brings that to, the other skill position rooms and makes sure that they engage it with them.
I appreciate your detail. Thanks.
Yep.
We have time for a couple more. We'll go with Joe Person, followed by Mike Kay.
Brad, good morning.
Good morning.
On that note about different paths to a win, I don't know if you saw, but after the game, Micah said that y'all's game plan was, quote, boring football, but admittedly he said, but they won. Your reaction to, the boring football label?
Yeah, I got a text from my dad, and he said that was beautiful football. So that one really resonated with me. I grew up in Tampa, and my dad was with the Bucs when they went on their first Super Bowl run, and I think you could credit a lot of their wins to boring football, where you're controlling the clock and you're playing good, complementary football, and that was our pathway to win against Green Bay. I think our defense, they stole the show on their side of it, right? They did a phenomenal job creating turnovers, making plays, stopping drives, in the red zone, and then when our name was called, like, their guys stepped up, and we made a game-winning drive ourselves. A lot of that being, on the ground and specific looks that guys were owning and ready to go with. So I don't take any heart to that, and I don't think our quarterback does. I don't think our players do either. I would rather grade our guys on wins and losses, and whatever that looks like, it makes for a much better Monday. When we come out with the W.
Hey, one more thing. The deke that Bryce did, making it seem like Rico was going to be in pass pro, is that something you guys teach? Is that something Bryce did organically, or take us through that?
Well, the first learning step for all of us is, we don't need to be telling everybody this stuff. But no, we hit that with Rico. But the biggest thing is engaging the material. The theatrics of the game is really important. That just shows a level of comfort from all of our guys that they're not wigging out at a fake protection check and like, oh, did he say we're in this pass pro when I thought we were in a run? Bryce goes into the huddle and he owns the guys. He warns them of a lot of things of those theatrics that he wants to do. We've challenged him to make sure that all of that stuff comes to life in the offseason. When you're in year 2 of running concepts and hearing words, it's like, okay, now the next step is how do we protect our stuff? So whether it's pass to pass, pass to run to pass, or just faking out the opposite, Bryce has done a great job. And it's come up more times than just that. I think that's the one time that, maybe the beans were spilled, that was a piece of the play.
We like the beans to be spilled.
I know you love the beans. I can't give you all the beans.
Mike K.
On that note, Brad, how difficult is it to throw anticipatory passes in that type of wind? And once you saw the interception from Bryce early, it seemed like you guys kind of adjusted your play calling. Is that accurate? And what went into the game plan once you saw the totality of the wind?
A big piece of the game plan was, just controlling it altogether. He was doing a great job of finding answers for us. We were doing a great job on the ground in all phases, in first, second, and third down. Yeah, I think there was an optical illusion there. When I saw the pass, I thought it was sailing out of bounds, and the wind was so unpredictable throughout the game. You watch the little flags on top of the goalpost. It seemed like they were just swirling in circles. So anytime that's a factor for downfield throws, we're not going to become less aggressive. There was some opportunities in there for us to drive the ball down the field, but at the same time, Bryce did a great job of protecting the ball, understanding the mode we were in. Of our defense is playing really good. We're running the ball really well. Finding your answers when we're calling those passes, and he did so. And at the most crucial moment, on that game-winning drive for us, he did a great job of cutting it loose and finding open guys down the field as we marched down there for the Fitz's game winner.
And then one last question. I know the Saints have a whole new staff, but a lot of their defense was held over. They've got a lot of veterans on that defense. What have you seen from guys like Cam Jordan and Demario Davis and the rest of the guys that have been around for a while? How are they playing at this point in their career, and what do you have to look out for this Sunday?
Yeah, there's a comfort level with those guys playing together. You just see it in their communication, how swift, 20 and 56 operate together. Demario and how he's directing some of those stunts on third down. Also, you're hoping you see a little age show up, but it doesn't. Demario looks fresh as ever. Granderson, Jordan, they all play really well together. They have experience together, and that shows. When you're dealing with twists and stunts and fits in the run game and run through on certain players on certain plays and dropping out into coverage on others, they play really well together. So whether the scheme is the same or not, there has been a shift that way. These guys do, you see it in their communication. They're operating fast pre-snap. So got a huge amount of respect for those guys. They've been playing the game really well for a really long time, and it'll be a great challenge for us on Sunday.